Hello students, today we are doing lesson 6.3 and this is graphs of relations and functions. So yesterday we did a little bit about the graphs and I actually got a little bit ahead of myself in telling you about the vertical line test. So we're going to go ahead and just write that down very quickly is the vertical line test, and today you'll see grids on my paper because we're going to be doing graphs. So vertical line test for functions. Okay, and this is what it states. If any vertical line intersects the graph, make sure you're writing this down. If any vertical line intersects the graph in more than one point, the relation is not a function. Okay, so we learned that last lesson, even though it wasn't really in the lesson. So today I'm just going to do some examples with you. Now that you already know about the vertical line, I'll still be talking about it. But today we're going to talk a little bit about how to graph an equation. Okay, so here's my first example, example 1. And in this lesson and this chapter, things look a little bit more complicated than they are. I don't know why this book does that, but it will show you something like this. It will say for x and y, and then it has a line, and then it goes y equals x plus 2, and then this, and x equals 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this looks really complicated. What I want you to look at is this. This is your equation, okay? And then we're going to look at this also in just a minute. Okay, so kind of splitting those up. This part in the front is not really necessary. Okay, we already know it's x and y's because we're putting it on a graph. So what you're going to do first is you're going to make a t-chart. Remember we talked about t-charts last lesson. We're going to put x and y. And now I know what my x's are. They're right here. I just circled them right. So my x's are 1, 2, 3, 4. So over here I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. And then now I have to figure out what my y is. So I'm going to figure out these y's right here by using my my equation. So I'm going to say if x is 1, so if I put a 1 right here, then I have 1 plus 2, and that means y would equal 3, right? So I should not have done all this. Let me erase some of this stuff. So that means y is going to be 3, right? So I'm going to put it right here. Y equals x plus 2. Okay, I'm putting this right here. So when I did this problem, I put the 1 in place of x. Okay, so I'm just making the x 1 because x is 1 right here. Okay, so for the next one, hold on. For my next one, I'm going to make x 2. So I'm going to have 2 plus 2. And so my y would be 4. And the next one, my x is going to be 3. So I have 3 plus 2 is 5. And my last one, the x is 4. So I have 4 plus 2 is 6. So see this x, I made it the 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I figured out what y was. Okay, and the problem actually says graph this. So first you do a t-chart and you're graphing, and a lot of times it might say t-chart and sometimes it calls it a table. So either one, and I've seen the examples call them both. So whatever your problem tells you to do, if it says t-chart or table, those mean the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to graph these. So when you see it in a table like this, you're going to look at it like this is a, let me try to erase some of this a little bit so it's not too confusing. Okay, so you're going to look at these like this is an ordered pair. So 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, and 4, 6. So if I'm going to graph that on a graph, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm just doing the first quadrant here. It just makes it easier to see. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the top's going to be 6. I should have gone a little bit over. Okay, and then down here, let me move this up a little bit. Down here is going to be 1, 2, 3. What happened to my 4, 5, 6? Okay, so my first one is 1, 3. And I'm just going to label it like this, 1, 3. My next one is 2, 4. 2, 4. The next one is 3, 5. And the last one is 4, 6. And there, I've graphed my relation. And then it may ask you, sometimes it says, graph this and then tell us if it's a function. So I know it's a function because I don't ever have my x's twice. Remember, that's how you tell if it's not a function. And this passes the vertical line test. So none of these points go through, a vertical line does not go through 2 points, right? So it has to be a vertical line to do that. So this is a function. Or if it's asking you if it's a function, you would say, yes, it's a function. Okay, let's move on to example 2. Okay, so example 2 and 3. This actually has 5 examples, but we're not going to do all 5 examples because some of them are a little bit more, we're not going to go into that kind of graphing yet. A lot of it's in Algebra 2, and even though sometimes we hit on it every once in a while, I usually just show y'all in class, and I don't really make it for where you have to actually do it. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. It's telling you x and y, and then it's going to tell you x is between 1 and 5, where x is an integer. That just means that it's not a fraction or a decimal, so it's just a whole number. And y equals 3. So see how long all of that is? This is how your book shows it, but I want to tell you all you need to know is this part, which is your equation, and this part, what they want x to be. So we're going to make a t-chart. Let me change my color. We're going to make a t-chart. We're going to put x here, y here. And we're going to pick numbers. Because of this, we're going to pick numbers between 1 and 5. And they have to be whole numbers, no fractions. But nobody wants to mess with fractions anyway, right? So between 1 and 5, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Those are all the numbers in between 1 and 5. And they're also equal to 1 and 5 because of this line under there, right? If it didn't have that line under it, then I would only use 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now I'm going to look at my equation. My equation says y equals 3, and that's all it says. It does not say x anywhere in there. And in the last one, where it had x, we wrote all of our numbers, right? But this one doesn't have an x. It's just telling me y is going to equal 3 all the time. So right here, I'm going to put y is 3 all the way down, okay? And that's the way you do one of those that says y equals 3. You might have one that says x equals something, okay? And that's the same way you would do. You would just put that number in all of the x's. So now your problem is asking you, I didn't write it down, but your problem is asking you to graph, okay, and probably ask if it's a relation or not. A function or not. So my graph, I'm going to do, again, just a quick simple one. Okay, I know my x's have to go up to 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just put a 6 there. And my y's only need to go up to 3. But I usually go 1 higher. So when I'm graphing these, this is like an ordered pair. It's like saying 1, 3. So I'm going to go over here and graph 1, 3. And I can write it down. I'm not going to write down all of them because it gets a little crowded. Okay, and then my next one is 2, 3. I'm going to go to 2 and up to 3. Then I have 3, 4, 3. Sorry, my pen is delaying here. And 5, 3. Okay, so those are my 5 points, right? I have 3, 3. You don't have to write this part in green if you can see the ordered pair on your table. But now I need to ask myself, is this a function? So you can look at your numbers here and say, well, none of the x's are the same, so yes, it's a function. Or you could go through and look at vertical lines. You do not have to draw these, you just have to look at them. Usually when I'm on screen or in person, I show the kids with a ruler. I put a ruler up there vertically and say, look, it does not hit the ruler 2 times. So you could do something like that. Just put your ruler up there and see if it hits it 2 times. So this, yes, it is a function because it does not have the x 2 times and it passes all the vertical line tests. Okay, last one. Oh, wait, that's the one we just did. Yep, well, this looks like it's the same problem. Oh, I see. They're not doing integers. So on the next one, it's more like a straight line here. And I'm not going to do that example all over again for you. Okay, so that's it for today. Your homework is there are 2 other examples in the book if you want to go look at them. Example 4 and 5. 3 is very similar to 2. You can go look at those examples. I'm not going to have you do any homework that gets that difficult. So I'm not going to show you those examples right now. Like I said, that's more of Algebra 2 work, and you'll see those in Algebra 2. And since we're kind of, we have less time in this class, I don't want to focus on too much of that. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see y'all tomorrow.